Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Rocket Rabbit Commentaries run through of Burnout Paradise. And in this episode, we're back at our listening to Paradise City as we have started another new game session with the Carson Fastback. Freedom of expression, freedom of spirit, freedom of cornering, really, really sideways. And if I recall correctly, yes, the Fastback is actually the fastest speed vehicle that we have access to now.
Really, 3 degrees of speed is now the superlative we have available?
Yeah. We don't. Okay. Here's something that I'm doing very specifically. I am attempting very specifically to turn off a lot of the classical music because yes, this actually has a shit ton of classical music tracks in it.
Da 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 da. Really? You don't want to listen to the fucking track that the guys from America's Got Talent, they were ass naked and stopping exposing their crotches with only hand towels?
What are you waiting for?
Now, we don't actually have to repair the Fastback, but we should because it unlocks the ability for us to look through its other paint styles. But because we don't have to, we're not actually going to go do so. So we are just going to go directly over to its burning ground. But you said that the 3 sounds like a disappointing number, but look, we're not even actually boosting, and look how fast we feel like right now. Ah! Damn it, all reliable. Okay, that's it. After him. I was going to go do an event, you bastard, and then you collided into me so many times that I spit out twice. Must have vengeance. Vengeancing! There, got him. The reliable custom is ours. One of the better aggression class vehicles in the game. Mostly because it's not so heavy that it can't actually turn. And now I'm having difficulty locating where I wanted to go again.
Boost, okay.
Okay, we need to go south. I'm not seeing that we need to go south yet, but we do need to go south. Hey, my mouse is on screen. Haha.
It's an arrow.
Yeah, that's the cavalry burning route. There it is. So yes, we need to go south. Sailing down to the Paradise City. Now, for the record, there's very little grass in Burnout Paradise. They do have some.
Oh yeah.
They do have some patches of grass, specifically in the higher market area, in the higher market value areas. You know, in the north and the north and northeast side. But most of the grass is actually on the Western Peninsula, and that's mostly because that is a deep forest and construction zone. So now let us do the Fastback burning route. At this point, the burning routes actually start to get significantly more tight because, well, a lot of the burning routes that we were beating by, upwards of 10 to 15 seconds. Most of these we end up beating by about 5, if we end up beating them at all. Now, they really expect you by this point to have to know what the track layout that you want to be taking is before you start the event, or at least react positively enough to your GPS to be able to figure out where you want to go.
Burnout times 1.
Ouch.
Da 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 da.
Yes,
Yeah.
we need to go south in order to get down to the edge.
Man, I mean, maybe Central Park in New York City, but what city is known for its grass? Honestly.
To be perfectly honest, I think a lot of the more populated cities in both Washington and Oregon actually have community gardens that are well known for their various amounts of flora in their community gardens.
Top 10 list of weird lyrics that you don't think are weird at first. Number 10, Paradise City, Guns N' Roses.
All right then, we got 1 mile left and 40 seconds to get there. Do you think we can do it, Mr. Cloud?
Yes, we have a straightaway now. It's a bridge. We got this in the bag.
Please take me out.
We are driving really fast with the radio on. There's no classical because Gerdat had turned it
Hey,
off.
I did not turn off
But
all the
we
classical,
want
okay?
the
I
rest of
wanted to
the
turn off all the
time.
classical, but I failed to do so because there's it's somewhere between 15 and 30 classical tracks that'll show up when you've got a significant amount of downtime.
Nice driving.
We got the Fastback Special, which is only slightly better than the normal Fastback, but I like being slightly better than the base model.
Nice.
And I think this also, no, it does not actually open up another vehicle for us. Do not, for any, oh no, it is not this one. Never mind. There is a there is a deep construction pit on the west side of Paradise City that is stupidly easy to get into and almost impossible for me to figure out how the fuck to get out of. So I want to warn our viewers that yes, there is a very difficult to escape construction pit in Paradise City, and I don't remember if I actually showed off during the playthrough. I think I do on accident, because that is the only way I ever actually end up getting in there. I never go there on purpose, even during a stunt run. Despite the fact that if you manage to link up all of the different stunts that are available there, you ouch! You effectively get all the points you need for a stunt run.
I tell you, the only thing about having classical as like a means of diversion in this song, of course, because I keep singing songs that aren't even on the set list, by the way, is unfortunately the music stops every time you wreck your car.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Let's get him. Pinky.
Nah.
Get back here, Pinky.
I don't actually want the Manhattan, but if I can take him down, it'll disable him from the other vehicles that I do want.
Come on. Get him out of the way.
No!
I'll get you, Pinky.
Eventually, we will get the Manhattan. Not because I want him, but because we end up fighting it a lot on the overworld. The actual things that I want on the overworld right now specifically are the LM Classic Rossellini. I want that because the LM Classic is actually a really good speed vehicle, and I think one of the Rossellini vehicles is specifically the Porsche 911 Proxy, and I always love doing the Porsche 911 Proxy vehicle in any of the racing games that have it. One of the Need for Speed games specifically it was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 taught me to love the Porsche 911 Turbo.
Nice.
If I could actually get a working version of Hot Pursuit 2, I would consider and then fail to do a playthrough of it for the channel, because Hot Pursuit 2, much like a bunch of racing games of the time, has got a lot of campaign stuff in it. Ouch!
Dun, dun, dun. You totally wrecked your car.
I think Hall of the Mountain King is actually on our set list. I just don't know for certain. And what bothers me about that is because Hall of the Mountain King is extremely subtle in its opening, and then it builds to a very climactic middle. But the song is actually only about 2 minutes long, so it's a really weird transition for such a short track,
That's a piece by Grieg. And to think actually a friend of mine was just play. Hey, we got Pinky, nice.
We got the Manhattan.
Okay, how does Hall of the Mountain King go again?
Admittedly, I can't describe it at the moment, which is weird because it's one of my favorite classical pieces.
Is that the one that goes Is that like the early morning like simulation one where it's supposed to be like the dawn breaking over the forest or something?
No. But the reason why Hall of the Mountain King is one of my favorites is because when you get to that climax, it very specifically feels impactful. But I can't describe how it sounds at the moment. God damn it, I'm terrible.
I mean, all I got right now is Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet Overture.
The Hunter Reliable Custom. I love this damn thing. And the Hunter Manhattan. I do not like the Hunter Manhattan. It is another take on the Chevy Cadillac archetype that the Vegas already does.
Piece of shit car. We got a piece of shit car.
What's weird is that the Manhattan actually has the same amount of speed as the Carson Fastback, but it's a stunt vehicle. So you would think it would actually make it a relatively nice to drive in different styles of events, specifically races and stunt runs. But but even though it has a tier 3 speed, it very specifically handles like ass. So if you get the tier 3 speed, you can't keep it.
Yeah, exactly. You typically want maximum control so that when you do get that sweet top speed like you read about, you can actually keep it.
Yeah. It's why in Crash Team Racing specifically, my favorite characters have always been were always Polar and Pura, because even though they had absolutely abysmal top speed, they had the absolute best handling. And because they had the absolute best handling, it was usually relatively simple for me to actually stay ahead of my opponents just by taking sharper lines than they could.
Yep, and shortcuts.
To be perfectly honest, though, they aren't the best characters. The best characters in Crash Team Racing classically are very specifically Coco and Engine, because despite the fact that they don't have the best top speed or handling, they have absolutely absurd amounts of acceleration, and that allows you to correct for your mistakes much better than pretty much any other stat. I've been actually watching a lot of Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content recently from Shortcat, and what's irked me about that game specifically when it comes to kart racing is that the most important stats in that game aren't actually showed to the player. And despite the fact that they have numerical values hard-coded into the game, the player isn't actually allowed to see what those hard values are.
Yes. Did we really deserve credit for that? That guy had 1.5 seconds to veer out of the way.
Yeah, but he didn't, so we got it. So we got credit for it anyway.
It was a partial sack.
And jump! Careful. Did not get the billboard, got the exit.
Last place.
And that is what happens when you take the wrong shortcuts. Thankfully, we still got 2 miles to catch back up, so...
So the game is actually tracking the straight line distance between the vehicles.
It's very specifically tracking the GPS straight line distance for the objectives.
That had to be one of the fastest leaps from last place to first place I've ever seen in any racing game.
Especially since we didn't have to fight our opponents for it.
All right, well, I mean, you got the straight line pathway, but they have the better angle because they just have to drive straight. We have to turn.
But we only have to make one turn, so there.
Nice.
They also have to make that turn, for the record. And
I wanna fly like an eagle.
In the next episode, we'll continue on with the Class B license. We're gonna be in Class B for a long damn time, guys. Be safe, everybody. Ooh, the Grand Marais. I fucking hate this thing. When we actually get it, I'll tell you why.
My God, I almost hit that Rolls Royce.